The so-called proto-evangelium in Genesis 3 is a judgment against the serpent, not a messianic announcement. The Hebrew text speaks of enmity between offspring, not a single saviour crushing Satan. No Old Testament prophet ever cites it as a messianic hope. No apostle preaches it as fulfilled in Jesus. The idea that this is the seed of redemption is a later theological reading, not a claim the text itself makes. Genesis 3:15 is not about universal cosmic redemption, nor does it foretell a future saviour for all mankind. Rather, it functions as mythic covenantal symbolism representing 1. The ongoing enmity between two covenantal lines within Israel's story. The serpent represents deception, rebellion, or covenantal opposition, often embodied in disobedient Israelites or hostile spiritual imagery. The woman and her seed represent the faithful covenant community, beginning with Eve but ultimately symbolized by Israel per Revelation 12:1-6, which pictures a woman giving birth to a child opposed by a serpent-like dragon. 2. A covenant-to-centric struggle. The seed of the woman becomes a symbolic lineage of covenant faithfulness, eventually leading to faithful Israel. The serpent's seed represents those within the covenant community who oppose God, like Cain, Esau, rebellious Israelites, or false teachers. The serpent bruising the heel reflects temporary suffering or opposition, as seen repeatedly in Israel's history, for example, their exile and persecution. The seed crushing the head symbolizes ultimate covenantal victory over apostasy, deception, or spiritual rebellion, culminating in Israel's redemption. Why Genesis 3:15 does not support universal salvation. There is no reference to nations, Gentiles, or universal humanity, only to a symbolic enmity between two seed lines. The concept of soteriology salvation doesn't formally begin until God's covenant with Abraham and his descendants in Genesis 12 onward. Genesis 3:15 is also not cited once in the New Testament to prove Jesus' identity or mission, underscoring its non-centrality to apostolic gospel preaching. Genesis 3:15 is symbolic covenantal prophecy, not a global redemptive forecast. It frames the internal struggle between obedience and rebellion within God's covenant people, anticipating the eventual triumph of faithful Israel over all covenantal opposition, not a universal victory over sin for all mankind.